Okay, right now I'm going to show you some people made this mistake before. I'm going to show you something when you're working with two different zones. If you look at this, let's look at this data now. Here I have some data in different, let's just say, um, if you look at this data, look at here, you see I'm working in 32, this data, the grids here are in 32, UTM 32. And whereas where I'm working on, the location I'm working on is, is in 31. Are you seeing it here? Is in 31. UTM zone 31. This is the real location I'm working. But the regional data I've got is actually in 32. Now, if you don't actually try to realign these things, you will have issues. For example, I wanted to getting my, what do you call it, elevation, and my elevation actually is actually required for me to calculate my declination and inclination in magnetic, when I'm actually interpreting my magnetics. Okay, what I want to do first of all is I'll look for, let's say, I'll bring the elevation of the sheets that I'm actually looking at. For example, the area I'm looking at is two sheets here. Um, Two sheets here. I'm trying to work on these two sheets, 199 and sheet 220. Where are they? Look at it here. 220, 220, 220. Okay, 220 is this, and this you can see 199 is on top, and so my area, um, um actually where I'm interested is actually somewhere here, So now I'm interested in getting the elevation of this particular um, location at my interest. So you see, now we can use your DAME or use online. If you have your DAME, you can actually do that, and you can bring in the elevation of this particular place. Now, the essence of this is I want to actually transfer this the elevation data here into my Oasis Montaj for me to be able to calculate my declination and inclination. But the first thing you need to do is you need to decide either you need to work in 31 or work in 32. So the data I've also got there is in 32. So for me, I won't want to tamper with the grid, the original grid, the original geographic coordinate or geographic projection of the magnetic grid. But what I'm going to do here is to transfer or project this particular one into 31. This is already in 31, project them into 32. So I'm going to do that. So if I do that, project it into 32 so that it can align in the other application. So we have to wait a minute. Trying to bring in my digital elevation model in order to extract the XYZ. Okay, so you can see it now. You can see the elevation is here. The digital elevation model of this particular area is here. I'm interested in this and this. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this elevation grid format, and I'm going to export it as XYZ. If I export it at XYZ, definitely you see my resolutions are in degrees. Are you seeing it here? So what are you going to do? If you export this, it's going to export in degrees, so you're going to have some issues. So what do? You are actually trying to align it with 32, so you need to actually change this to UTM zone. Is already in 31, so you need to align it to 32. So you project this actually to UTM zone 32, you apply. Now you actually, if you look at here, you know, okay. So are you seeing it now? See. So we can actually export this elevation grid. We'll know whether this is correct. Elevation grid. Okay. Now we can see it's appearing in meters here, 888. So we can actually um pick boundaries. It's really heavy, so I just can actually pick boundary just these two sheets. Um that is just it. And that is just the sheet number. We can save it here XYZ 199,200. You know, so we'll save it. Then we can, let's see what we've done in this. Then what we need to do is for us to bring it in here. Okay, let's just okay, we'll not actually form a database, new database. We can form in a new database, and we can call it elevation, and that is the new database. And we can go to data and import that as an ASCII file, so we can actually import it as an ASCII file. This is where we'll have it, right? Elevation, we'll have it as elevation. Look at it here. Over the XYZ11. Okay, we said file to import. So let's import it here. We can send next and next. So we're going to import this. We label this channel X and label this channel Y, then label this channel Z. Then it's ready to be imported. No, to the template. Yes, import it here. Then it's importing. Okay. Just hold on. It's really a big data here. So I'm gonna take some few. We say EX is actually imported, right? So now we'll have to just grid. Just let us say grid it. Just use the dialog control box. We can grid the channel that is Z. And we just call the data name of the grid size. You can just make it say 50 so that it doesn't just get too cumbersome. So we can say okay, it's going to grid the data now. So when you finish grading this data, we're going to do sampling from this elevation data. When you do sampling and it goes, that means actually what you've done is correct. Okay, we've done that. Okay, we're waiting for the grid. Okay, wow. Now it has actually gridded. So that is it. That is our elevation there. You can see this is actually low and this is actually high. Okay, so now we're going to form another new database called that mag. This database we want to actually sample this elevation data with this. So what we do now is we open up this. We can go to grid and okay. So now what we do, we go to grid profile. We're going to create a new database from this data. We pick the TMI and we're going to form it using line 0. The sample interval, we can just say 1000. And we're going to digitize from map. We choose, there are other ones, we choose digitize from map. We say, okay, now See, here we just drag it down and we click and say done. Say yes. So, see, it actually brought out, sorry, it actually brought out the XY and the TMI of this. So now the next thing we're going to do is, let's just say we're going to sample this. Let's convert this data to degrees. You can say new projected, because that's the only way. New projected, that is it. The existing coordinate channels are X and Y, which is okay. We say X. Yeah, the UTM is okay. That's 32. We say yes, okay. But the new ones now we're going to create is going to be launch and let's say next. We'll modify it. Are we modifying it? No. Yes, we're modifying it to geographic, which is next. We're using datum WGS84, and that is it. We'll say next, choosing local datum, and that is it. We can say okay. So you see, it actually converted this to this now. Okay, having converted this, now we're going to sample this data from our elevation to see if we're going to, get the elevation of this particular or this XY from the elevation. So we go back to our grid, go back to our utilities, and we'll sample grid. So our X reference point X and the Y reference point is Y. Then sample from, okay, sample, gonna from it, sample, sample, um, grid channel, grid file is this. Okay, so we'll just name it elevation, just something like this. So you see, you've actually brought out the elevation at each particular zone. I'm just saying it now. So from this X, Y, Z, we're able to convert this into longitude and latitude, and we're able to calculate the elevation of each particular zone. So if you had not been able to actually convert that into 32 for it to align with this, definitely this will not be possible. You actually see asterisks at this particular location. So with this now, you'll be able to go on with your other calculations. So this is actually how you're going to do your transformation projection from different UTM to another UTM and be able to calculate or sample your elevation from your TMI grade. So if you have further questions, just let me know. Thanks. And we'll bring you further videos as regards to making some of these calculations. Thank you.